Okay, here we are, it's 2026. I'm not sure if this is for you, the aspiring creator in the here and now, or if this is for future me looking back on this sometime from now. But here are my thoughts on being a creator in 2026. So 2025 was really just a meat grinder of a year that really deeply unsettled the world balance. And I think that is true across a number of different industries, but as a creator, it deeply affects us because of the economy. This isn't really about politics, but it is about a desire for change, whatever side of the equation you find yourself on. And I think we need to find some common ground in the middle, and I think creativity can be a good place for that, to help people realize how much alike we actually are, and maybe how much in common we actually have. The one thing I will say is I think people have accepted that, hey, this is where we're at now and we need to move along and kind of be productive and do the best we can in the current situation. And in a more trade-specific way, one of the things that is on my mind going into 2026, of course, is AI. And I feel like it's on a lot of people's minds. It's something we're talking about a lot. It could be a bubble, but I don't think so. I feel like AI is here to stay. And I don't mean that it's here to replace your job or take over, but I think that those who can harness the power of the tools of AI to create work will be the ones who are successful moving forward. There's no question that there's some efficiencies to be gained with AI, and it's a whole new world. There's so many things that you can do now that weren't possible before. Even just things that might have been a Google search before are now a whole rabbit hole of information synthesized in a completely different way than we've seen before. So for me, AI is really an interesting thing. I don't feel super threatened by it, and here's why. I think AI has a role in creating efficiencies and sparking creativity, but do you want an AI version of your family photo? Or do you want AI to come to your wedding to take your pictures or make a video? Do you want AI to represent you, your face out in the world? Perhaps, but I think the majority of people are still seeking those real human moments. And while AI certainly has a place in the world and is a really cool thing to play with, there's a lot of great tools that generate images and videos that are super fun. But at the end of the day, I think we are striving for that human connection. And for me personally, I don't see inviting AI into my life to create those moments or to capture those moments. There may be some tools in the equipment that I use that use AI functions to help make that easier. But I'm still looking for the real human element, not a computer synthesized version of that. Creative work is not in danger because it is inherently what makes us human. Creativity is something that we all possess and that we all have the ability to do, and it's what makes us kind of unique and individual. AI is really creating kind of an average middle ground for things to exist. So if you're creating content that's generic, then maybe AI is a threat, because if you just need a picture of a product or an empty glass in front of a background of some sort, I mean, that's generic enough that it's possible for AI to create that quite well. I tried this recently, and the end result was maybe not quite as good or as real looking as a photograph, but it was good enough for the purpose of what even I was doing, and I felt like that was fine for that purpose. Did that take away from somebody's job? Potentially, but that image was so generic that if I had to have got it from somewhere not AI, I could have either shot it myself, and it might have taken me an hour to set that up, or I could have gone to a stock photo library. And even at this point, I feel like a lot of content creators go to stock photo and video for those type of things anyway. So really, what's the difference? I guess somebody's not getting paid in that sense, but it will force creators to be a little more inventive and a little more creative and come up with things that are truly original. The really generic kind of copycat stuff, or that just feels sort of average, is probably what AI is going to replace. Competition, whether it's with AI or with each other, is what drives innovation and pushes us forward creatively and forces us to come up with new ideas. So to me, AI, I don't know. I think it's here. We're going to use it. I'm certainly going to take advantage of it, but is it going to replace me, and am I worried about that? Not at all. I think one of the things that's daunting for somebody that's been in the business for so long is that now this content creation era has just really exploded the demand for video and photography. And to me, what's interesting about that is the pie has never been bigger. And I guess that in some ways could feel like a threat as well. There's so much competition, there's so many videographers. When I moved to the area that I live in currently, there might have been 2 or 3 other people doing similar things to me. In fact, I actually still stay in touch with them, and I know them. We have regular meetups or semi-regular meetups. But back then there really wasn't a lot of us. Now I can't even count how many people are shooting videos and taking photos. There just seems to be a new player on the scene every week. But the difference is, like, experience still counts for something. And as you move along in your career, hopefully you're working with clients that appreciate you more for the subtle things that you bring to the table. If it's just a price game, then of course the new guy might win out just based on price, but experience does count for a lot. And there is something to be said for being efficient and very good at what you do. So when you become an experienced player and you're reputable and you are known for doing a good job, people are willing to pay for that because it saves them time. Back to the sheer volume of creators. I mean, one could think of that as being very daunting and sort of overwhelming with that much competition, but the pie has never been bigger. There might be more people eating it, but the pie is so big that it doesn't really matter, because before there might have been 3 of us eating at a tiny pie. Now there's a just gigantic pie, and there might be so many people you don't even know who else is at the table, but it doesn't really matter because there's just so much going on. Most businesses now are running at least an Instagram and possibly a YouTube as well. And the demand for sort of daily or at least weekly content is huge. So there's never been a better time to be a creator in some ways. It's also a pretty hard time to start because there is so much competition, and I'm thankful that I was established before this influx of just huge volume came in. But the reality is that this is just going to continue to grow, and there is a seat at the table for everyone. And I guess on that note, it's my aim in 2026 to share some of the knowledge that I've acquired, because I feel like I've sort of reached a point where in my 40s now, I've done this for long enough that I have a lot of experience, and I'm young enough that I'm kind of in this sweet spot between experience and youth. In particular, in a sort of media literacy way, I feel like the ability to tell a story should not be limited by your access to resources or your access to training. And so for me, one of the things that I'm really looking forward to in 2026 is to share that knowledge in a bunch of different ways. And some of that will come in the form of tutoring and mentoring and teaching other creators and people that work inside of companies in creative roles. And some of it will come in a more charitable sort of way where I want to give my time to help people that may not have access to that type of training learn some of these skills so that they can tell their stories. I think that YouTube now is such an interesting place, and my only regret is that I didn't really see it this way sooner. I've been so busy making client-facing content that I just never really had time to think about where I might go with YouTube. Anybody can make content in a way that would have been considered television a number of years ago, not too long ago. Really now, the sky's the limit. And once upon a time, I used to work in the movie industry and aspire to be in the movie industry as well. And you can already see that movies are not quite what they used to be. The way that we consume content is so different now that people aren't necessarily even wanting to go to the movie theater as much as they used to. That used to be the only outlet for that type of content. But now we're able to peek into the lives of normal people that might be more closely aligned with us, more like reading a book. Content creating opens up a whole new level, and there's just so much interesting stuff on YouTube to watch, and to me, I think the dream has shifted. It's not just about making a feature film one day. I feel like maybe even creating a meaningful YouTube channel that you connect with a small-ish number of people may actually be more fulfilling in some ways than creating that big thing that I once dreamed about. So to me, I'm really excited about YouTube in 2026. I have a lot of interesting and a little bit random things planned, and part of that is because as much as I want to focus in and niche down, as they say, I feel like part of what has made this career really interesting for me is the variety. And I've thought about this long and hard. And as much as I want to be super strategic about YouTube, I think a lot of this is about exploring my own interests and sharing that knowledge with you and sharing that experience with you so that you can go out and do those things too. And of course, there's going to be some things that are not interesting to some people, and that's totally fine. But for me, this is a bit of a exercise in seeing where I might go with this, and I'm sure something will land at some point. But I'm going to keep making things the way that I feel in the moment, and whatever I'm interested in. Hopefully, over the course of the year, that will take shape in some way that makes some sense. Anyway, thanks for checking this out. If you have watched this whole video, thank you so much. And I look forward to seeing you around in 2026.